Alright, so here's going to be homework 10. This is dealing with like whether things are functions or not, and also listing domain and range. Okay? So each of these we need state, domain, and range, and then state whether or not the relation is a function or not. Okay? Let's look at number 1. The domain, once again, are your inputs, the range is your outputs. So this whole circle here on the left side, those numbers there, that's your domain. So if you're going to write your domain, that'd be 0, 1, 2, 3. And it's that set of numbers. You know, put a little curly brackets around it. All those numbers, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Alright, your range are the possible outputs. You know, also put that in the curly brackets, so your outputs here. -2, 1, 2, 4. And ta-da! That's your range and domain. We need to now determine whether or not it's a function. This one is not going to be a function. Okay? And that's because here when you look at 0, it gets assigned to -2 and it gets assigned to 1. Okay? Since 0 got assigned to 2 different numbers in the range, it is not going to be a function. Okay? Functions mean each input gives you exactly one output, or only gets assigned to one output. Okay, let's move on to 2. This one's like it's already listed. Domain's right there, range is right there. So really, it's just those points. And the big question is whether or not it's a function. Well, this one is also not a function, for the same reason the top one isn't. 3 gets assigned 2 different numbers, the 1 and the 5. It's not a function because it got assigned 2 different numbers. If it got assigned only 1, it'd be fine. So let's look at 3. We need to list again the domain and the range. So our domain here, that's all the x values. X, X, X. You notice all those are the same. So really you only list 2 once, because it's just being used over and over. The range, on the other... The range are the possible y values that you get out of this list. So look at -3, 4, -1. And that's going to be your list. -3, -1, and 4. Okay? Next question is whether or not it is a function. This one, again, is not a function. And that's because if you look at your points here, 2 gets assigned to 3. 2 gets assigned to 4. 2 gets assigned -1. It gets assigned multiple things. That makes it not a function. Okay? Not a function. Because 2 gets assigned multiple different outputs. Alright, next ones. Okay, this one again, it's already listed for you. Domain is right there. You just write those numbers down. Range, same sort of thing. You just write down what the numbers are, and that's your range. And we come to the question of whether or not this is a function. Okay, look at all your domains. If they only get assigned to one item, like they do right here, then it would be a function. And this one is a function. Simply because of that. 5 gets assigned one number, 10 gets assigned one number, 15 gets assigned one number. And each one's only one each. Okay, so let's move on to number 5 here. The domain and the range, again, domain are the x values, the range are the y values. So here, your x values are here. That's what you would list in your domain here. So -3, -1, 0, 2, 3. And so that list is done. We'll get the range here. We got -2, -1, 0 gets used twice, but you only write it once. And then you write down 4. Okay, and that's the last one. This one is also a function because every input gets assigned a single output. Okay. Move on to 6. We'll try and finish this up. Your domain are these numbers. So your domain would be 1, 2, 3. And your fancy curly bracket stuff. The range, similar thing. Just those numbers, just the y's. And that is 2, 4, 6. Put your curly bracket, and that one is done. Okay, this one is also a function because every input gets assigned exactly one output. 1 gets 2, 2 gets 4, and 3 gets 6. And that's how it's assigned, and so it's a function.